They say you always remember the moment everything shifts. For me, it was a Thursday evening right after dinner. Olivia was rinsing dishes, calm as ever, when she said it, like she was asking if we were out of milk. I want to take a solo trip. I paused, holding my glass midair. By yourself? I asked. Well, not exactly. Maddie and Isa are coming too, she replied, still not looking up from the pan she was scrubbing. But I need this. For me. Maddie and Olivia had both just ended relationships. They were in that self-rediscovery zone. Podcasts, long walks, glasses of rose and journaling. I knew exactly what kind of journey this was shaping up to be. What are you trying to find out there that you can't find here? I asked, dry as dust. She turned around, finally meeting my eyes. I've never done anything on my own, Richard. Straight from my parents' house into a life with you. I just need space to feel like myself again. We'd been married for 4 years. Bought our house the summer before. I thought we were doing fine, not exactly setting fireworks off, but stable, solid. Dependable. It's not about going wild, she added quickly, reading my face. It's not like that. I just need to think. I nodded slowly. So you need space. Before what? Before kids? Before you're too committed to go bar hopping through Europe with Maddie and her chakra-aligned yoga teacher. She frowned. That's not fair. Which part? The trip or the fact you're doing this without asking me? She sighed. I knew you'd react like this. That's why I almost didn't say anything until I'd already bought the tickets. That's when it hit me. This wasn't a conversation. It was a heads-up. A formality before she did what she wanted anyway. She left the next weekend. I didn't stop her. I just made a quiet choice of my own that night, one she wouldn't see coming. I drove her to the airport that morning. Not because I wanted to. Because I didn't want her to say I was being petty. She looked like she was heading to brunch, not another continent. Linen blazer, big sunglasses, designer suitcase. You okay? She asked as we pulled up to departures. I'm fine, I said, cutting the engine. Got your passport? She nodded but hesitated. You're being really quiet. I looked at her. You're about to go on vacation with 2 women who treat commitment like it's a cell phone plan. And you're surprised I'm not chatty. She shook her head. This is why I needed space. You twist everything. Not everything's about betrayal. No, I said. But these trips leave certain doors open. You might not plan to go through them, but they're unlocked all the same. She rolled her eyes and stepped out. I followed to grab her bags. She kissed me on the cheek like I was someone from her office. I'll text when I land, she said. You don't have to. Her smile dimmed. What does that mean? It means go do what you've already decided to do. Just don't dress it up like it's something for us. She didn't answer. Just turned and walked through the sliding doors. That afternoon, I started reviewing our joint accounts. Didn't touch her money. I'm not that kind of man, but I redirected my paycheck into a new account. Canceled our fall vacation, redirected the refund to my own card. Changed billing on everything in both our names, power, streaming, insurance. They were little steps, but they mattered. We weren't divorcing. Not yet. But I wasn't going to keep acting like the man whose wife still saw him as part of her future. 4 days into her trip, the first photo appeared. A wine glass on a cafe table. The caption read, Lost in Lisbon. Finding peace. Funny thing was, Lisbon hadn't even been on their original itinerary. Then came Seville. Milan. Nice. The 3 of them were clearly making it up as they went, jumping from city to city like college kids with student rail passes. Every image looked like it was taken from a travel influencer's feed. Sunset silhouettes. Fancy meals. Waves at her feet. Olivia in floating dresses, laughing with Maddie, or gazing soulfully at some sculpture. But one photo made me pause, a group shot. The girls with 3 guys I didn't recognize. One of them had his arm around Olivia's waist. No tags, no explanation. Just a caption, new friends. Old souls. I stared at it for a long time. Then I opened a folder on my desktop and began saving screenshots. Maybe it was paranoia. Maybe it was just being ready. Either way, I'd stopped giving her the benefit of the doubt. I didn't comment. I didn't like a single post. I didn't reply to the one message she sent that week. Hey, hope things are good back home. We just got to Barcelona. It's beautiful here. I left it on read. The next day Maddie posted a video from a beach club. Olivia was dancing barefoot, cocktail in hand. That same guy was nearby, shirtless, leaning in close to whisper something in her ear. She didn't pull away. I watched the clip twice. Saved it. Didn't say a word. 3 weeks passed. Then she came home, like it was just another lazy Sunday. Dropped her bags in the entryway and smiled. God, it's good to be home. You wouldn't believe the train mess in Italy. I stood in the kitchen, arms folded. She noticed the shift. You moved things around? Had time. She stepped closer, leaned in to kiss me. I turned slightly. She caught my cheek. Her smile faltered. You're mad. No. You're back. That's what matters, right? She laughed nervously. Okay, I know how it looked, but it wasn't like that. We just needed a break. From everything. Look like you made some new friends, I said. She hesitated. You saw the photos? I saw enough. Richard, you know how that goes. Group shots, random people. Doesn't mean anything. You weren't wearing your ring. She flinched. It was safer. Less attention when traveling. I said nothing. She walked to her bag and pulled out a souvenir. I got you something, she said, holding up a tiny Vespa keychain. You've always wanted to visit Rome, remember? I took it, placed it on the counter, and pulled a drawer open. Inside was an envelope I'd been keeping. I handed it to her. She unfolded the paper slowly. The first was an email confirming our accounts were being separated. Below that, paperwork showing I was starting to buy out her share of the house. At the bottom, contact info for the movers I'd already booked. She looked up, startled. You're kicking me out? You said you needed space, I said, my voice even. I made sure you had plenty. Tears hit her voice. Over one trip? I took a long sip of my coffee. Over one decision. One I wasn't part of. She collapsed onto the couch. It wasn't supposed to be permanent. Richard, I just needed time. Time for what? I asked. To act 20 again? To forget we had a life here? You're overreacting. You won't even let me explain. You had weeks, I said. All I got were curated photos and captions. I didn't see a wife. I saw someone living a life that didn't include me. I didn't cheat. Did you come close? She didn't answer. That's all I need to know, I said. You think just because you didn't cross some obvious line that nothing happened. But you erased me the second you stepped on that plane. You wanted freedom, Olivia. Now you have it. Freedom costs. Her eyes filled. So that's it? You're done. I didn't answer. Just walked to the closet. And came back with a duffel bag I'd already packed. Set it gently at her feet. You can stay with Maddie. Or ISA. You've got places to be. She stood, stunned. This is really happening? I warned you, I said. Don't pretend it was for us. You made your choice. I'm making mine. There was no screaming. No big argument. Just that heavy silence that happens when something really ends. By the end of that week she was gone. Maddie helped her pack the rest. Barely looked at me when I answered the door. Olivia moved through our home like a guest, removing herself from shelves and drawers, leaving behind half-used shampoo bottles and silence. At one point, she paused in the hallway while I typed something at the dining table. This doesn't feel real, she whispered. I didn't look up. It is. I thought we could fix it when I got back. You should have thought of that before you booked a ticket without me. That weekend, my brother came over with his truck. No questions. Just support. We loaded what was left and dropped it in storage. Later, I wrapped myself in a blanket, sat on the balcony and sipped whiskey. The house was quieter. Not empty. Just mine. I wasn't angry. I wasn't shattered. I was free. She searched for freedom across the map. I found mine without ever packing a bag. 2 weeks later, her name popped up on my phone from a number I didn't know. I ignored it. Then came the emails. Can we talk? Just once. I didn't reply. The next day, she stood outside my door. Arms folded, trying to look composed. I've been calling. I know, I said, locking the door behind me. You moved on this fast? I started moving the moment you said you needed space. She searched my face. I made a mistake. No. You made a choice. You just didn't like the result. I thought we were stronger than this. No, Olivia. I was strong. You were unsure. That hit her. She reached into her bag and pulled out a little box. Inside was her wedding ring. I kept it, she said. I never took it off. That ring traveled farther than our marriage did. She looked stunned. I walked past her to my car. Is this really it? She asked, panic rising. You asked for freedom, I said, turning once more. You got it. Then I got in and drove away. It's been 5 months. We split what we needed to. Sold the house. No courtroom drama. Just quiet exits. I now live in a smaller place near my job. 1 bedroom. Simple. Mine. I run again. I take a photography class. Funny how pieces of yourself return when you stop bleeding for someone who wouldn't have done the same. Sometimes friends ask if I've thought about trying again. They say she's in therapy. She's changing. Maybe. But I don't need to know. That's the power in letting go. I heard she's dating again. Nothing serious. Eventually, she sent me one last message. A photo of the Vespa keychain in her hand. No text. Just that. I deleted it. She doesn't know I kept mine. Not as a reminder of her, but as a quiet promise to myself. Love isn't about grand gestures or second chances. It's about who stays when it's hard. Who holds the door shut when freedom calls. She left to find herself. I stayed, and finally found me.